Y'all, women's minds are insane. Really, I'm not kidding. There is something that I had no idea I was doing for years until recently, and that is telling myself all kinds of crazy stories, like juicy plot twists and major just drama. And I didn't even realize it because it was all made up. If you don't think you create stories in your mind, then I strongly encourage you to pay attention to the next time that you send a text to someone that you're a little bit uncomfortable sending to begin with. Maybe you're asking a favor of them or asking their opinion of something, or an email to someone that you work with that is an idea that you have, something that just a little bit before you send it, you're a little bit uncomfortable. Most of the time before the recipient even receives it in the cyber world, your mind is already creating what you think how the other person is going to receive it. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason why your mind does that, and I'm going to share that in just a minute, but I want to give you one more example. Imagine you are scrolling social media and you see a picture of a group of your friends who are out to dinner, and the fact that they're out to dinner and you didn't know anything about it tells you that you weren't invited or included also. That's a crappy feeling. Nobody likes to feel that way. You feel left out, you feel singled out, and you're not real sure what's happening or what would have led to that. So your mind immediately, because you've got that bad feeling going on, your mind starts trying to connect the dots and figure out what's going on here. It's a reaction to that bad feeling that you've got. So your mind's going to work to connect the dots, and the very first plausible thing that could possibly make sense, your mind's going to run with that. So you see the picture, you weren't included, they're all out to dinner, and so now all of a sudden you're telling yourself, oh, okay, this is about me. Last month she had a home show and I didn't show up and I was supposed to. So this is about that. I got left out of this group dinner because I didn't show up to the home show where they were all together, and now they're leaving me out of this. Or it could be, oh, okay, see, I didn't invite either of their kids to my child's birthday party, so I bet this is about that because I left them out. Now I'm getting left out of this group dinner. So even if those things are true, you didn't show up to the home show, you didn't invite their kids to the birthday party, what you're doing in between is fiction. What you're making up with the story that your mind is coming up with, it's fiction. Just because those two things happen don't mean that the dots automatically connect. Could it be for that reason that you got left out? Yeah, maybe so. But what if it's just as easily plausible that you missed a PTA meeting, you forgot about it, and they were all there and they decided to grab drinks spontaneously afterwards? And now you've got this crazy, ridiculous story that you're telling yourself that then it doesn't really help that feeling go away. It just continues more, because on top of that, you're probably adding a little bit of guilt and a little bit of shame because you are inserting a mistake that you feel you've made, whether or not it affected them or not. We don't like sitting with bad feelings. So when you catch a bad feeling, like something makes you feel off inside, whether it's you feel left out, you feel singled out, you feel like you're being talked about or being judged, whatever it is, that bad feeling for me, it sits in my gut. I don't know if that's a universal thing or what, but for me, I feel like I always feel that in my gut, sometimes in my chest. But either way, there's a reaction you have, and it's negative and it's emotion. And if you can name that emotion, awesome. But the bigger thing is just to have the awareness that you're having that, and then be able to stop yourself and say, okay, this is what's going on. And the first question you ask yourself is, what are the facts? What do you know to be true? So in this scenario, it's that your friends are all out to dinner. You didn't get invited or asked, unless you haven't checked your email or you haven't done something. I mean, really, sometimes we jump so fast to conclusions that we actually were a part of something, and we have made up a story about, that we weren't. So what are the facts? What do you actually know to be true? And are they relevant to what's going on? So is it relevant that a month ago you didn't go to the home show? Does that really, is that relevant, or is that just you stretching to find a reason for this? The second part, after you ask what are the facts and you get real clear on that, then you need to say, what's the story I'm telling myself? And use those words. That has become such a powerful thing for me because it draws out that, yes, this is fiction. The story I'm telling myself is that I didn't show up to something a month ago that I think mattered to this group of people, and now they're leaving. The story I'm telling myself is that they're leaving me out as a way to punish me. And the other thing that it does is in addition to making it obvious that it's fiction, is sometimes when you say it out loud, when you say the story I'm telling myself, you can hear how ridiculous it is. But when it sits up here, it's like you're not even, you just sit with it and have that feeling, but you never really call it into question. So pay attention. When you start having a bad feeling on the inside, stop and know that that is the time, that is the very time that your mind is going to be really quick to jump into storytelling mode. Ask yourself, what are the facts? And then use the language, the story I'm telling myself. And then don't do this. I have been guilty of doing this so many times, and I regret it because I think it's one of the most damaging things that we do to each other as women. Do not share your story of events, your perception of what's going on with another person as if it's facts. If you're going to pass information like that on, if you're really going to pass your story and your perception of what's going on, at least own that. At least say, I only know this. These are the facts that I know. This is my perception of what's going on. Own that. Say that, because it's not fair to the other person. It's not fair to either person, the person you're sharing the information to or the person you're sharing the information about. It's not fair to either of those people if you aren't clear with them that this is your perception and these are the only facts that you know. I regret a lot of times that I've done that. I have been the person who has told the story not just to myself, but then passed it on to other people, and I regret that. But here's the thing, when you know better, you do better. So let's do better. Let's be aware of when our mind is making up those stories. Let's be aware of what the facts are, and let's use the language, the story I'm telling myself. And then if we're going to talk about it with someone else, let's present it as exactly what it is and not our perception as facts. Hope everybody has an awesome day. I'll see you next time.